So, for question one, I guess I noticed that I thought it was really weird that Dionysus takes on two different roles in the play. He's not just a god, but he's also not just a human when he pretends to be a human. And I thought it was kind of weird that he kind of straddles this line, even though he technically is a god. Um, for question two, I guess the first value I saw was this idea of respect to the gods. You can see it in the beginning of the play when Tiresias um, kind of tells Pentheus that he needs to respect the gods, even though he's blind and he can't really see anything. He still knows what's going on and has this better idea of sight than everybody else in the play. It seems. Um, the chorus also takes on this really respectful role. They don't kind of choose the side of Pentheus at all. They also have one of the parts in their chorus, I think in the second or first scene, when they talk about how important it is to respect the gods, and also the Maenads are pretty respectful of at least Dionysus. The second value is kind of a little bit confusing, at least in my opinion. This idea of seeing to know and having to see something to know that it's true. I think it's actually an anti-value in the play. In the beginning, in the prologue, you can see the mother of Pentheus has to see Zeus to believe that he's a god, and because of it, she gets killed. And her son does the exact same thing that she did. He has to see this whole Dionysus to believe it, and because of it, he gets killed. Because he can't just accept the gods as they are, he needs to see to believe it. For question three, I googled the god Ares and why did they choose Ares to save Cadmus and his wife at the end. I couldn't really understand, and I don't even think googling it really answered my question. I mean, he's the god of war, but he ends up saving them at the end, even though Dionysus turns them into snakes. For question four, the Maenads are depicted pretty crazy. They're not really a part of civilization. They're this separate people. But it's not very consistent because they do respect the stranger when they see him, and the coward when he sees them. There's they don't seem crazy like Pentheus makes them out to be. And Pentheus really hates them because he thinks it's a ruse. They're worshiping the gods just to promote this vile behavior of getting drunk and partying the whole time. For question five, Elvis is on the cover because he has this cult following, kind of like Dionysus, and people, especially older people at the time, thought it was really crazy and horrible that kids these days were obsessed with this new rock and roll music. For question six, my first question is, why does Euripides re-explain the myth of Dionysus if everybody in the audience knows it already? Why does he need to re-explain it? And why does his mother end up pulling out his socket and cradling his head back to town? Why not someone else? Why does it have to be his mom?